This is Smallzy Surgery.
Are we ready to go with tonight's guest? Yes.
Yes.
Apparently, we've been told this is the most Ari Gold thing that could possibly. We've been told that we have to call him, and that is it lined up?
They're on hold.
Okay, hang on. Let me just. Okay, so we've apparently connected to his hotel room, and we're on hold waiting for. Okay, so tonight's guest, famous as Ari Gold. 26 Emmy nominations, 14 Gold nominations, the most iconic 2000s TV series of all time, Entourage. Jeremy Piven. This is his hold music. So, did they tell us how long we'd be waiting for?
No, but hopefully he's ready.
This feels very Ari Gold. I hope he answers the phone with, "You got gold." Like, that would be iconic. You know what I should do while we're waiting? He's in New Zealand apparently at the moment doing his stand-up shows.
Yeah.
He's going to be here from this weekend, kicking off his stand-up shows. He's playing Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Melbourne and Adelaide. I really am padding here. tegdainty.com for Jeremy Piven live in Australia. Maybe we'll just play let's just fade this down. Let's play his opener and let's see if he answers the phone. Hang on, there we go.
Jeremy Piven.
1,000 years ago, I did a show called Entourage. Could you imagine if we tried to reboot that today in this climate?
And the Emmy goes to Jeremy Piven, Entourage.
This envelope contains the names of 8 agents. Anyone catches you, you eat it. Comprende? Not if you understand what I'm saying. I understand. You can't just nod.
He's on his way to Australia. Please welcome to the show, Jeremy Piven. How are you? Thank you. This is very Ari Gold for me to be connected to you in your hotel. Are we interrupted anything, or are you good to chat? Because I know you're traveling.
No. I was sitting staring at the phone, doing absolutely nothing, and now we are on, and everything is right in the world.
Okay, fantastic. That's great to hear, because I just was like, maybe he's partying in the hotel room and we've interrupted, and I wouldn't have wanted to interrupt your, what day is it? Whatever day of the week it is, plans. Hey, great to talk to you, and you're on your way to Australia with the whole stand-up comedy shows.
That I am.
You're going to be here this weekend playing literally every capital city around the country. What's your favourite thing to riff on at the moment? There's so much material in the world.
Yeah.
What are you loving the chance to pop off on stage about at the moment?
I mean, that's the great thing about stand-up is anything that's happening in the moment, you can. I literally just touched down in New Zealand, so a lot of my stuff is, based, in the fact that I live in the States and, everything that we're going through. But, things can happen to me on the way to the theater. I can slip and fall and go, my God, I'm getting old. This is how you know you're getting older. I used to look at a woman in a short skirt and I would think, wow, she's hot. And now I look at her and I go, I wonder if she's cold.
You could have a fall at the airport and hurt your hip. Like, that's all real possibilities, right?
Well, yeah, that's not as funny as what I just said, but yes. Yeah, there you go, brother. I think you and I should take this on the road.
I have to ask, like, what's your opinion on crowd work? Do people heckle you at your shows? Because the clips on TikTok are very funny, and obviously you lean into like what people know you for, and an actor and being in Hollywood, but do people heckle you at your shows? Do you encourage that? Or because I think in the stand-up circuit, some people are like, it's okay to be heckled. Other people are like, fucking shut up. This is my show. Don't take me off my path.
That's the great thing about stand-up is that, at any moment someone could do. That's what makes the show unique. I will say, though, that in the States, people do it a lot more, and it says a lot about a culture. You can learn a lot about a culture, like, when you're watching, like, sports and you have, people being interviewed and then you see the fans in the background, that they're either, like, they're very well behaved, or people are, like, lifting their shirt up and desperately trying to get on camera. When I've been in Australia, people, they're smart, they're present, they get the joke, but you got to earn their laughs. So I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but Australia, I was in Melbourne and Sydney last time, were two of my favorite places in the world to play. And mostly because they loved me and they thought I was really funny, which means they have really good taste. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I feel like you're flirting with us, and I'm on board that. We do think you're very funny, and we do enjoy you a lot. You've got, because not only you've got two things, you've got the stand-up show, but then also you made a movie here too, right?
I made a couple movies. One of them, Primitive War, Luke Sparks, who's a guy that lives out there not too far from the Gold Coast, where we shot this film last time I was here. Our film was going to be released the 21st of August. The trailer has been blowing up. We just were a few days ago at Comic-Con, first Australian independent film to ever go to Comic-Con.
Huge.
And it went incredibly well. We were totally sold out. And there are other, big movies that weren't sold out. So I feel like we're on to something.
That's so great. That's so great. Obviously, the character you made famous being like Ari Gold, and then since Entourage, since then, there's been a bunch of shows that have sort of tried to do a sort of like a peek behind the curtain of how the sausage is made. But recently, Seth Rogen did this series called The Studio, and now that you've made movies as well as TV series, I was curious to know how much of the movie making experience how close was it to sort of like that series as an actor? How close is it to, dealing with studio execs and the egos and, the people who trying to involve themselves in all of it?
I know that when we were doing Entourage, we had a lot of people working on the writing and the producing that were immersed in Hollywood. So, and one of them, to this day, is Mark Wahlberg's manager. So, in a weird way, we had like a dramaturg on set with us at all times. So, what you're seeing was pretty authentic.
Yeah.
To the backstage life of Hollywood, and if we didn't get it right, we would have heard about it. That's for
true.
Sure.
That's true. You made a funny joke that I saw on TikTok about you saying like they would never make Entourage now because it's like five. I don't want to do your gear, but there's like five straight white guys on a billboard, and it just wouldn't be made. Do you worry about cancel culture in your stand up because like people can take those clips out of context, or are you like, I've been doing this for so long I could give a shit?
I think when you start, like, there was this great quote about people that do the high wire, and that's such an insane even thing to do with your life. And the moment they start thinking about anything other than just being in the moment, they tend to fall.
Yeah.
And I think with stand-up, you're up there and you're connecting with the audience and you're having a great time and you're making them laugh and you're not getting in your own way or second-guessing yourself. Otherwise, it's just not going to be the best version of what it can be. I think we've been through a lot in the past 4 or 5 years, and I think that, we've seen the extreme version of people being triggered, taking offense, leading with feelings, and I think we're coming back to some semblance of normalcy, order. Which we listen. The number one in the States, the number one viewed piece of content on Netflix was the roast of Tom Brady, which was really raunchy and fun and wild, and I think there are businesses out there and they don't want to fail, and so they have to look at what's selling. And what's selling is, if we had a rule in my house growing up, my mom would say, you can say whatever you want as long as it's funny. And I think if it's funny, that means you have some insight into a truth about something that we can all share. So I think if you start thinking about, wow, is this going to offend someone? Because I'm not racist. I grew up in an integrated culture, so it's not like I live in fear of like, wow, I'll be uncovered as some, something that would, I really have nothing to fear and love making people laugh.
I like that.
And
I like that answer.
yeah,
I like that answer.
So I think that's a really great place to be. You know, we all need to laugh now more than ever with everything going on. You know, it's like, you know, you can get angry, but anger is like a punishment you give yourself for something someone else did, kind of like burning your Tesla.
Oh, yeah.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
I love that. I never would understand.
See what I did?
Yeah, I saw exactly what you did then. You're going to be here. Show's kicking off this weekend. tegdainty.com for tickets. Final question for you. Are they treating you like a rock star in New Zealand? What's the hotel like? Are they rolling out the red carpet? Or do they lock up the booze in the mini bar? What's the story there?
You know, I know that this is a very civil conversation. You were expecting Ari Gold, but
no.
What? I'll break out the Ari Gold when it comes time to get up on that stage.
I'm just checking that you're staying in a nice hotel and they've given you a pillow menu because you deserve it. And I don't like a hotel that doesn't have a variety of pillow options in the room, if you know what I'm saying.
There is a plethora of pillows, and because I'm in New Zealand, I actually have a sheep in bed with me.
Apparently, everyone off the plane gets one, so I'm glad that they have continued that tradition.
Yeah.
You, sir, are going to be here live in Australia over the weekend. Pleasure to have you on the show. Now, enjoy the rest of your night in New Zealand, all right?
Thank you, buddy. I'll see you soon.
You're listening to the Smallsy Surgery Podcast.
Hear more from Smallsy live weeknights from 8.
Only on Nova.